Hello. Maybe if I unmute myself, it might be better. Oh, that's you. I'm thinking, how come I can't get my camera? It's because it's Nikki that's on there. Do you want to unmute? There you go. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, because I was paying you a compliment and you didn't respond, so I thought.
No, I'm like, I can't hear you. I could see your mouth moving.
I love your top.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Yeah, feeling a bit glittery. I'll get it straight on
Yeah.
me. Oh my goodness. So we just had a couple of people not being able to get on, but anyway, Dell and Sophie are both in the waiting room there. I think we can message them actually. Oh, Nikki's already done it. I'm just going to leave you with Nikki for a minute. She's there under support women. If you want to send her have you sent her your links and things like that? I've just got to pop to the loo. I'm busting.
Oh, and what links was I sending? The financial checklist? Was that?
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Were you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought I was like, you're not able to hear me earlier. So I already got your, your
So
personal page and the group. So is there any other page,
when you say my essential spending plan one?
I got your Facebook, which was let me go back to it, which is your profile on Facebook, and we also got the happy spending, happy spender.
Oh, the happy beyond budgeting. Oh, okay. I'll just send you.
We got that too. So is there any other links aside from those two that we need to send while you're talking? Because at least when you share stuff, they can also see visually what are the things that that they could click on, like the links that they can go to check more.
Yeah, so there's my profile, which doesn't have much on that. There's Sherri Dumbrell Essential Spending Planner. Do you have that one?
Oh, I don't have that one.
Because that's my actual business page. Because that's the one really.
Okay.
Yeah, to share. So I'll just.
It's okay. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I have it up. Okay. Thank you.
She was doing the free something I offered. Did she want links to that now, or is that something that we do out?
That's something we do. At least I got the 30-minute checkup session value at $60. So I'm just gonna pop in the details. We don't actually need it. They just have to see visually,
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. So we're good. So we have your essential spending planner, which is your business page. So we're covered. That's good. Thank you.
And then the happy.
Yeah, that's really weird. We've only got 2 people in the waiting room, Nikki.
Yeah, it's so weird. So we might as well wait for other people to come in.
I'm just worried about that Eventbrite link.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Can you?
I had problems with that.
Just hang on, Sherri. Can you please, Nikki? Can you go into Eventbrite and can you send an email out to all the people that have RSVP'd with that link?
Sure.
Just put it on there, like use this link to join now.
Okay.
Thanks. Because my mum should be on there as well, so I guess she's having trouble too. Hang on a sec.
Oh, what's this happening?
Maybe she is, maybe she's not. Hang on. It's weird that they're not. I might just ring her. Hang on. I'll just see if she's trying to get on with that link.
Hello.
Hey, Mum.
Hi.
Are you trying to get on?
Oh, no, I forgot about it.
Oh, hurry up.
All right.
No, I just was wondering because other people have had trouble getting on with the link and I thought maybe you were struggling as well.
All right. I'll have a look. All right.
Thanks, bye. She forgot. Forget when they get 5 reminders in a day.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so annoying, people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to send the waiting room another message. Almost there. Just waiting on a couple of people. Thanks for your patience. Do you have, because you have some people that are getting on as well, don't you, Sherry?
Yeah, I can't remember, but yes, there was someone.
Oh, hang on, there's somebody else just popped in now. Shika S. Oh, maybe they're just running late, but you know.
Well, I'll try to check. And yeah, the link doesn't work if you click it straight from Eventbrite. So this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just do that. Just go in and send out an email.
Yep.
Thanks. And we might just pop the link onto Women Recreating Abundance as well. Do you want me to do that, Nikki, or you just got it?
Oh, I got it.
You got it? Okay, cool. All right. Well, I might just let some of these people in then. There's lots of Rhonas here. Gel Jewelry. Hi, Rhona. Zoom will not. Didn't she already? She's already in there. I'm just going to let them in. Hello. Hey, Sophie.
Hello.
Good evening. Hey, Del. Hello, Del. I'm not sure if you're still, oh, you're just connecting to audio now. Oh, it's nice we've got your nice painting in the background there tonight, Sophie. Hey, Del, how you going? Unmute yourself. Oh. Oh, she must be on are you on your phone?
Yes, I can't get my laptop to go. It won't let me in on the laptop.
Did you use that other address?
Yes, I did. I used what you sent me on the phone as well and the email. And it just keeps saying this meeting is for authorised attendees only. And it just goes round and
because
round.
you need to register. You need to register.
I have.
Like, yeah.
I've registered about 5 times.
What, tonight?
So anyway. Yeah, just now. Yeah.
Because it needs to capture your email address to let you in. I think.
Yeah, well, I have registered.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway. It's I'll have to just do it on my phone. That's all.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, that's Shika. That's there now. There's a few people coming in now. Yeah, Nikki's just sending out some messages to people to help them out. I don't know why it's doing that. It's really annoying. Some people it works for and some people it doesn't. So I don't know what that's about. Shika, can you pop your video on? Where are you calling from? Or you might just want to pop in the chat bar if you can't. Don't know. Unmute.
Hi, this is Shika.
Oh, there we go. I have some noise.
Yes, this.
Oh, hello.
I have joined from Sydney.
From Sydney, all the way from Sydney.
Yeah.
Across the flooded plains, I think.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Mm.
it's quite close.
Yeah, it's not real good, is it?
Yeah, but finally we have seen that the rains have finally stopped, so you will see some respite in the heavy.
Yeah. All right, well, we might slowly get started. There might be some more people pop in, but I'm going to let Nikki look after that as they go. So where's my thing? I had a run sheet here. Here it is. So just want to let you introduce yourselves. You might just want to pop in the chat bar because some of you are eating, some of you are on phones and whatnot. I don't know if you can run your chat bar from your phone, Del, but just pop in there where you're calling in from tonight. That would be great. And so we can see, I think we're pretty spread out over the countryside. I'll put in mine as well. Brisbane North. Sunshine Coast. It's not much sunshine here at the moment, but you know, Sophie in Melbourne. We've got Nikki in the Philippines. And we've got Shika. Do you want to pop yours in there? Del from Toowoomba. Whereabouts in Sydney are you, Shika? Chatswood. I used to drive through there all the time when I lived in Port Stephens, when I drove to Sydney. Chatswood, past Chatswood Toyota, where my uncle worked. Yeah. Also, I just want to ask you a question as well. Is what actually brought you or attracted you to come to this meeting tonight? You can just pop in the chat bar there, just so I can get an idea of what actually, you know, something take your eye, or is it something that you're interested in, or was it the name? Was it the colours? Was it Sherri and my beautiful faces on the banner?
I might speak if that's okay. That's might be
Yeah,
easier.
go speak. It's easier. Go, Sophie.
For me, well, I love joining your groups because I always find them inspiring, but particularly this one, I think you can always learn. I mean, I think I'm fairly good at managing my cash flow, but you can always learn new things. So I'm hoping for some new inspiration and new ideas of how to, manage my cash flow better, I suppose. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. What about you, Del? Do you want to just speak? I think you typed it in there. Managing your money. I also love your group meetings. Oh, I've got to record. Oh, I am recording. Thank you, Nikki. What about you, Shika? What attracted you to this meeting?
The topic actually, I was just simply interested in knowing if we can know more about the different financial options like investing, because women in general, they may not get sufficient time or focus to look into these matters. So if there are any new suggestions,
Yeah.
I'm interested in knowing about that.
Yeah, definitely. Us as women, sometimes we take the back seat, and you know, it is good to actually feel like we're we know what we're doing. We have a little bit of take control of what's going on with our finances, whether we share them with somebody else or not, just that we feel that we know what's going on.
Yes, so it looks like the options may not be that much difficult. It's just that we do not have that much information with us. Or maybe we are just so busy with our schedules, with our other things going on in life, that we do not pay sufficient time in these matters.
Enough attention to it, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, it's interesting. I always like to ask that question because different people have different whys as to why they came along to the meeting. So anyway, without further ado, I think I'll just get started there. Are we right to get going there, Nikki? Is there anybody else struggling to get in, or we're all good?
I was waiting for someone to get in. I've actually sent them a message.
All right, I'll let you do that as we go. Thanks. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen now. I'm actually going to get rid of that stuff behind me so that I can go about doing that. Stick that over there and to the top of here. Will you just let me know that you're seeing the right thing, please, Nikki?
Click
No.
on the other one. Yes. The
Have you
other
got
one.
the right one?
Nope. Next
Nope.
one.
Okay. Oh, goodness. No matter how many times I do this, I'm always pick the wrong one.
It's all right.
50% chance. I think I need that one. How about that one?
You got it.
That's got.
All good.
Now, Sherry, I did mean to ask you, I'm really sorry before we went live in here. Is it Sherry or Sherri? You have to unmute.
It's sherry, like the drink, and it's
Okay.
like the opposite of smart rail.
So Dumbrell?
Yep, umbrella. Yeah.
Dumbrell. Okay. Oh yeah, it is spelt correctly on there. I think I have spelled it incorrectly in other places, but
And to put another extra R.
yeah.
Surely the name's not umbrella, but it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll remember that now. Sherry, as in the drink.
Yeah.
It's all good. Okay, so welcome to Women Recreating Abundance tonight, and our subject or topic for tonight is how to manage your cash flow abundantly, with our guest speaker Sherri Dumbrell and myself as your host, Rhona Pelluchon. So I just appreciate and thank you so much for being here tonight. I know that, you know, time is a precious commodity these days. There's so much going on. And I thank you for making the effort to be here. But I'm really glad that you made it because you are going to enjoy this. It's definitely not going to be a time waster. I hope you've got a notepad and pen because you might want to jot down some points as we go along. As I mentioned before, I've got the lovely Nikki as part of our Women Recreating Abundance support team, helping Sherri and myself tonight with hosting this call. And she's going to be following in the chat bar and also adding in some links as we go along that you might want to copy and paste or take out if you're on your PC. If you can just keep your comments in the chat bar to help us along with any questions, you know, ask us any questions you might have. If we don't answer them during the presentation, then we'll get to them in the question and answer time. So I'm sure you will have some questions. Just pop them in there so that we can go back to them in the question and answer time. Please make sure that you keep your chat bar comments and questions to everybody so that we can follow in the same flow, because sometimes people send them to the wrong person and then it all gets out of sync. Does everybody write with using the chat bar in there? You can just give me a yep, I'm all good with a thumbs up or a hand or something. Sophie and Del, I think you're pretty right with that. And And just so you know, I'm going to be reading from some of my notes so that I stay on track time-wise. So this meeting is going to be finished by 8:30 tonight, easy, probably be more like 8:15. So settle in and enjoy it. We ask that you can leave your videos on if you can. I know, Sophie, you might be eating something right now, but it's just much more fun for us as when we're presenting to see the faces rather than a blank black screen. Yeah, and also that we can keep your microphones kept on mute during when we're presenting, just to limit the background noise from everybody's homes, if you know, because you've often got other people around and whatnot. Are you there, Sophie? Because I'd like to take a group photo. Well, she's not. Generally, Sophie's on there, so I might just wait till she comes back, Nikki. Oh, there she is. So let's just take a group photo while we're all here for now. Can we just all wave and go, hello? Smiley faces. And Nikki's going to take a lovely photo of us all. Make sure you get the good side. Thanks, Nikki. And as I mentioned earlier, this meeting's being recorded and it's solely for my own training purposes. What we're going to cover tonight, a little bit about Rhona, how to have a money mindset, and then I'm going to pass it over to our guest speaker, Sherri Dumbrell. See, I put the R in the wrong place there. And then we're going to open up to some discussion and questions, and we're going to do the lucky draw prize. So the lucky draw prize tonight is a fantastic one. And we have our instant prize winners, which I'm not sure if they're on here yet. So anyway, there was a prize winners for bring a friend along to tonight, and I don't know if there's anybody actually on here yet, but Nikki might find them as they come in. And they've actually won a free download of the book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shin. If the winners could pop their email addresses into the chat bar, that would be great. I'll let you sort that out for me, Nikki, if you can, as they come in, if you get them in here. So Florence Shin, the author of The Game of Life and How to Play It, was a woman ahead of her time. She wrote this book in 1925, which is amazing. She was an artist and an author and a metaphysics teacher in New York in the early part of the 20th century. Her book is profound, full of wisdom, and have inspired thousands of people for several decades, including me and somebody else that you may have heard of. And her name is Louise Hay. Who's heard of Louise Hay before? She's written many books. She taught her students that life is a game, and in order to play it well, one must learn to understand the universal laws that govern it. If you three ladies that are on here tonight would like a download copy of that book, put your email in to the chat bar and I'll send it to you tonight, because the other ladies didn't get on that was supposed to be bringing a friend for some reason. So go for it, pop it in there and I'll send that out to you, because it's an awesome book. And I don't know if you can actually still buy this book now. Also later on tonight, 2 people will win an abundance transformation session with me, valued at $47. And our generous guest speaker, Sherri, is giving away to 3 people a 30-minute checkup session. So checkup, I'm guessing that's on your spending, where you're at with that. And that's valued at $60.
Could you try again?
Nikki's popping all your names into a name of wheels as we speak, so hang around to the end, and you must still be present on the call to claim your prize.
Could you try again?
I've got Siri talking to me. All right.
I'm not sure I understand.
Really? Okay. So a little bit about me. You can join me on Facebook under Rhona Pelluchon. The link's in the chat there. You can see how my name is spelled Pelluchon. And I'm a mum of 2 children. One's 26, living in France as a ski instructor, my son. And I've got a daughter who is almost 18, living here with me and still at school. I live in Maleny, Queensland on the Sunshine Coast with my partner, and we enjoy the warmer temperatures and lifestyle of running our home-based businesses. But all in all, I'm a transformational coach, and I help women to believe in themselves and their future by realigning their abundance pathways to financial and emotional wellness. And my passion is seeing women shine when they create an abundant outlook on life and taking charge of their financial and emotional mindset. It truly is what lights me up. So it wasn't always this way. Rewind 8 years ago now, you know, in our 20s and 30s, we have dreams and goals and aspirations of what life is bringing to us. And this is what I created. I ended up in France, in the French Alps. I married a Frenchman, and I was a wife for over 23 years living there. A mum, I had both my children in France, and we owned a $3 million company. We lived in the French Alps, and we created a successful and very business lifestyle in the hospitality area for over 23 years. We had a dream life. Yeah, we enjoyed a fantastic lifestyle. We renovated an old farmhouse. This is interesting for people that are from Australia, because it was actually built in 1780. So it's as old as Australia, and not as old as Australia, as old as Australia since it was discovered, I guess. And we turned it into our own home. We had a yacht in Mallorca, in the Balearic Islands, in the Mediterranean. We had lots of endless nights in restaurants and with wonderful food and wine, helicopter transfers. You know, my children learnt to ski and ice skate, and we water skied and all skied together as family, and we had everything, you know, we had the works. This was the lifestyle that I became used to. And then I had the unexpected happen to me, as I call it. So my life fell apart and my marriage ended. And within 3 months, I found myself back in Australia. I was now a single mum with my 2 children. And I was 45 years old. I had no pension. I had no super. And for me, I felt like I had no financial future. Like, have you ever felt this way? Have you ever had anything like this happen to you before? I had to adapt an abundance mindset. It was either that, or I wallowed or kept wallowing in a victim mindset, which is not a place that I was happy to be in, or that I wasn't actually used to being in, because I was used to that other lifestyle that I had. So I had to work on getting an abundance mindset back to being in that energy field. So how I adapted my abundance mindset, you know, friends and family, people that I knew were telling me, you can transform your life into something really purposeful. Wow, with everything, you know, that you've already achieved, Rhona, with what you already had over there, but this time you can do it on your own terms. And I did have that inner wisdom deep down, in that gut feeling. And I knew that everything would be okay. Well, eventually, it was just a part that I had to get through. And I was right eventually. You know, my gut feelings were right. And I really had to believe in myself, and I had to believe that it was going to be okay. Hence why a lot of my businesses include the word believe. So my umbrella business is called Just Believe in You. And then I have Recreate and Believe on Facebook, on my Facebook business page. And I have that Women Recreating Abundance under that. I also have a team called the Believe Team. So all of my businesses have a word in it to do with believing in yourself. So how I adapted my abundance mindset, I began with the most important, which was my emotional health, by working on it daily, by reading bits and pieces, by listening to podcasts, by applying strategies. Different things like morning rituals and night rituals, just getting myself into a routine. Just little things, little bits at a time. being surrounded by the right people that will lift you up, or that lifted me up, and becoming part of a community. I was learning from others that were more successful than me in both business and in life, and I was listening to my inner wisdom. I was taking that time out to tune into what was really going on within me. When something begins to click, so, you know, when you start to feel that you're finally getting somewhere, that you're on a roll, as they might say, it's really encouraging and you want to keep going. Have you ever had that feeling? I was moving into a victim mindset, or from a victim mindset to a victory mindset, sorry. I was focusing on the future. I was surrounding myself with like-minded, encouraging people. I had mentors that guided me, and we celebrated my successes. We need to celebrate our successes. I was feeling good. The money began to flow easily, and I wasn't as fearful about how I was going to buy my next tank of petrol. Little did I know at the time that I was moving from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And here I am today with a lifestyle of emotional and financial wellness. So in wanting to share my story of encouragement that it is possible to recreate yourself, I began a community group called Women Recreating Abundance. You can find us over on Facebook and also on Meetup if you're on Meetup. Now on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, or if you can get onto the Facebook group, that's the best place to be because it's a lot more interactive. I have interviews on there and daily hashtag days where you can be inspired by other women. And we provide tools, resources and avenues in there as well. Yeah, it's a lot more interactive over on Facebook if you can pop on over there. I think Nikki's going to pop the link into the chat. So within this group, we empower women to financial independence. We encourage and support women globally. So as I lived in France, I have quite a few people from over in Europe as well. And I have a few people from America too within that group, and some Asians too as well. So we provide tools and resources and different avenues for them to use and follow. And I feel really blessed to be in a position now that I can help other women who have found themselves in a similar situation to what I experienced. So one of the tools I use during my coaching session is the Abundance Transformation Wheel. Many of my clients enjoy working with my unique Abundance Transformation Wheel. We go through the 5 paths of abundance of recreate, believe, power, time, and money, which is the subject for tonight, and pull out where your abundance needs nurturing. So from this wheel, it gives me a guideline of where I can support you and work together to give you the best outcome possible, no matter where you are at in life. So on to the topic for tonight. What is an abundance mindset? So, sorry, what is a money mindset? Your money mindset is simply your set of beliefs, usually subconscious, about money. It's the way you approach earning, saving, spending, and sharing in your life. All of the above messages you have internalized about money over a lifetime, they boil down to 2 basic orientations towards money. It's either scarcity or abundance. So a scarcity money mindset. So when you're in a scarcity money mindset, you're always scrambling to make a few bucks or wondering how to earn more money. You stress about paying bills, you complain about paying taxes, you resist giving anything away, you scrimp and save, yet somehow you never have enough cash flow left for a nice dinner out somewhere, a date night or a movie or that special holiday. Whether you're making a minimum wage or a competitive salary, you have a broke mentality and it never quite feels like enough. You're probably thinking right now, it's not my mindset, Rhona, it's just my life. It's just the way that it is. I don't have enough money. So for those of you that know me, have you ever heard me say that? I remember people thinking, how does she find the money to do that? How can she afford to do that? I really struggled when I first came back to Australia. Believe me, I really had to work on my mindset, and that is what helped me through. So you may catch yourself saying things like, I'm not good with money. Someone else will take care of this for me. People with money are greedy. I'm not smart, talented, or privileged enough to have money. So don't worry if you believe that you're running from a scarcity mindset. You're not actually stuck there forever if you don't want to be. So stick with me here for a minute. Just hold that thought and let's flip the coin on the other side. So an abundance money mindset. You appreciate what you have and you practice gratitude. You enjoy being generous with others. You have the confidence in your ability to make and receive money. You don't fret over bills or unexpected expenses. So you may catch yourself saying things like, I love learning about money. It's what Sophie actually said earlier on this evening. I can take charge of my finances. Money gives people the opportunity to contribute to others and make a powerful impact in their lives. I'm always enough just the way I am. So if you could just pop in the chat bar there, I just want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 being a scarcity mindset and 1 being an abundance mindset, where you find yourself at the moment. If you can just pop that into the chat bar there, just the number from 1 to 10. Another question for you as well. So whether you're operating from an abundance mindset right now or from a scarcity one, remember that your mindset is malleable. So it can be changed. And we need to keep nurturing our mindset with things like what type of things and how can we nurture our mindset? Can you just pop those, if you have any ideas, can you just pop them into the chat bar there for us? Or if you want to unmute, because there's only a few of you there, just unmute if that's easier. Whatever you feel like doing. Because I can't see the chat bar, but I'll have a look at it after. So how I help my clients with their mindset is we find out where these belief patterns have come from. Then we can begin to release them, and that's then that we begin to see a change. So like I said before, tonight's lucky draw prize from me is 2 free abundance coaching calls using the abundance transformation wheel. And the lucky draw prize will be drawn at the end of tonight's gathering. So just quickly, our next event for Women Recreating Abundance will be April the 30th. That should actually say April the 20th, Nikki. April the 20th at 6:30 p.m. It's a Tuesday night, so just check that out. And it's with our guest speaker, Christopher Lewin. So as you can see, the name of the event is What's Your Signature Telling the World? Have you ever thought about what a signature can reveal about a person? Did you know that you can make changes to your mindset by simply changing a couple of strokes in your signature? A signature can tell 1,000 words when it's analysed by a trained profiler, and that's where Christopher comes in. So he has had 10 years experience in the field of profiling and has helped many of his clients understand their emotional world and bring about positive, lasting changes. So tickets are going to go live tonight, and I invite you to bring a friend along to this event and enjoy finding out about each other, because it's going to be a really interactive event. I'm guessing Chris is going to actually do a signature makeover for a couple of people on the event, so you will see the difference. That will be really, good fun. So I don't know why I have to click so many times. Now I'm going to pass it over to the beautiful Sherry, the Essential Spending Planner, our special guest speaker for tonight. So Sherry is passionate about helping people finally eliminate money stress and take control of their money with her proven money management system. So I'm looking forward to taking my own notes on this tonight. I'm going to get my pen and pencil ready and I'm going to hand that over to you. I'm just going to stop sharing and yes, so was there any questions at all in the chat there that I needed to look at or not for now? April the 20th, yeah, that's exciting. All right, Sherry, so are you right to, we need to let you share your screen. Have you been given that access? I'm not sure. Yep, I think you should be able to.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm excited to be here and yeah, get your pencil and paper out. And let me just get this away here. So tonight I'm going to talk about, now, first of all, can someone tell me in the chat what time it is? I don't have a clock here. So just so I can keep track of how long I have.
It's 7:14.
7:14. Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, 7:15 for some. Yeah.
I was talking to you, but I was muted.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so so my name's Sherry Dumbrell, and I'm a certified spending planner. It's a new industry in the finance industry. It's only been for probably about 4 or 5 years. And so I've been a certified spending planner for about 4 years. Where does a spending planner fit in? Well, we've all heard of financial planners. And so you go to them when you have excess money. And then you've heard of financial counselors. You go to them when you are really struggling, have a lot of debt and kind of close to bankruptcy. And then there's that whole center part, which is most people, which is the ones that might live paycheck to paycheck, might have a little savings or might do okay with their money and have some savings. And so it's this whole center area that is where I help people with. There's lots of information out there on the internet, but it's just information. So I actually literally hold people's hand and walk them through the process of how to manage their own personal day-to-day finances. Okay, and so nobody has money problems on purpose. Just get that thing. People just simply don't know what they don't know. And we weren't taught about money in school. I once had talked to a young lady. She had just graduated from university and she got her first real job and she was making a lot of money and she had no idea what to do with it because she was never taught. And so if you have money issues, then it's not your fault because you weren't taught. And so that's what I am versus I'm an educator. I educate people about personal finances because we've been told a lot of lies. There's consumerism. We are all consumers. We consume things. But with the marketing and advertising, they're always telling us that you need this, you deserve this, you're entitled to this, when really they're just thinking about their pockets and about their bottom thing. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this list here, and I want you to tell me what are maybe one of your pitfalls. And so just put that in the chat. I've highlighted the ones that tend to be the most common ones. But which one do you find is your pitfall when it comes to your money and managing your money? And if anyone wants to unmute themselves and share, that would be great too. Okay, let's see what we have here. No clear financial goals. That's so good. And that's the first thing I ask of people is, what's your reason for wanting to be better with money? Because if you don't have a reason, then you'll just end up wasting your money on what you think you want, but it's really not what you want because you haven't sat down and thought what you really want. Also boundaries. Yeah, boundaries with spending. You have to have a boundary, and especially on food, that's the biggest one, because otherwise you'll just keep spending and spending. I've worked with some people where I say, how much do you spend on food a week? And they say, oh, I don't know. And I said, don't you have an idea? And they say, no, it's just if I run out of food, I go to the shop or I go to the drive-through. And so we have to have boundaries. Otherwise, you could spend all your excess money on food or fast food. Okay. I want to point out a couple here. And what is self-entitlement to a lifestyle? That's where you feel entitled to a certain lifestyle. And I, just thinking of Rhona's situation, she had a very good lifestyle. And so when that was all taken from her, if she would have still lived that same lifestyle, she would have probably got herself into a bit of financial trouble. So we have to realize that when it comes to entitlement, we're not really entitled to anything. Not even every breath we take. That's not even, that could go at any time. So if you think about not being entitled to anything, then the opposite is gratitude, which Rhona was saying, is to be grateful. Be grateful for everything you have, because of course the human nature is we want more, more, more. And if you're out waiting for happiness until we get what we want, we're never going to be happy. And so we need to be happy with what we got. And then I'll go into a few of these as well. So I talk a lot about money truths because again, there's lots of lies going out there in consumerism that I teach the truth. And then I also tell people you need to be honest about your money. You have to be honest about what you bring in to know what you can send out. And yeah, we're a steward over our money. And one of the first truths is you need to save first and then spend second. And I find it very sad when I work with people that sometimes that's as if the first time that they've heard that they just think, and so we need to save first and then spend second. Afterpay is a big one at the moment. Okay, it's the marijuana of credit. So the first time I saw Afterpay, I was buying a tea towel, looking for a tea towel for my daughter. It was a $4 tea towel online, and it offered me Afterpay, and I could not believe it. I thought, if I can't afford a $4 tea towel, then I should not be buying one. And it was $1.25 for the next 4 weeks. Now I take it I can't see any of you, and I take it you're all hearing me and seeing what I'm doing. Okay, this is another thing, is people put their head in the sand. They put their head in the sand and aren't 100% honest about their spending habits. They ignore and accept that there's going to be unexpected, unplanned expenses. Now, we all have experienced 2020. None of us saw that coming. And and so if you didn't have plans in place for the unexpected, then you were really hit hard. And so we also have to not be in denial of what it really costs us to run our life, our lifestyle. Because just putting our head in the sand is not going to make things better. It's just going to make things worse. And so we need to get our head out of the sand and know what it literally costs us. You have to have a why. And like some of you were saying that you didn't have any financial goals. You have to have a goal. When I work with people, they usually, one of their goals is to go on an overseas trip. And so they usually do that in the first year because they, I help them see how much money is actually leaking from their wallet. Lifestyle. Again, this is a money truth. We need to take care of the things that are important first. Our life costs, which is your basic things, and especially if you're a parent, that's really important. We need to make sure that we have those basic things for our children first before we go over into what our style costs. But I go a lot further than that in our life costs. I go into that you need a money for a rainy day, and people call it now a COVID account. You need to have money for that unexpected. You also need to have money for savings on what you really want. What do you really want? Do we just work just to pay bills? No, we want to do it so that we can get some enjoyment in life. And then also some long-term savings. We need to, again, this is where people put their head in the sand. We need to get our head out of the sand and realize that the things that we buy will eventually need repairing and replacing. And so we need to have a thing for that. Now I'm just going to check there. Yeah, okay. And the other one is retirement, is to think about the future. I had interviewed a girl and she's 19. She's from Brisbane and she just bought her first home at age 19. She just moved in just before Christmas. She started saving when she was 11, just little odd jobs. She was raised by a single mom. Her mom didn't help her. She got a job at McDonald's and she just had a goal. She had a goal and she wanted to do that. And so she saved up her money and had her deposit for her home. And so that was really inspiring to me. And I had her speak to other kind of youth to let them know that you can do it. And so, yes, life costs are first. You need to make sure you get, because I hear so many times that people complain they don't get what they want, yet they're the ones that made that happen or not happen. And so we need to know what our needs are. And when I talk about needs, I'm talking bare bone needs. The needs that a lot of families had to do during COVID. What is the basic that they could do? And then you have to know what you really want. You have to have that goal, because if you don't, you're going to waste a lot of money in the center part, which is what you think you want. You think you want this, you think you want that, but it's really not what you buy, what you want. And that's when you're that spontaneous spending that you, what you think you want. And so there's a song, it's a rapper song, which I don't like rapping, but it's by Black Sheep, and it's called This or That, The Choice Is Yours. And it goes, do you want this or do you want that? Do you want this or do you want that? It's very repetitive in this song, but it's the song that goes through my mind when I'm out shopping and I think, do I want this, which is here and now, but that means that it will prevent what I want later. And so we have to think about the future, because if we only think about now, then we're not going to get what we really want. We're just going to waste our money. Okay, so how do we spend our money? There's 6 ways that we spend our money. And anything that you do, you can put it into this. So first is your weekly expenses, which I call my FFFI, which stands for food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. So that's money that every time you get paid, you have that amount that you spend. Then you have your predictable bills. And so bills are things that usually happen within a 12-month period. And then we buy things. We buy things we need and we buy things we want. But then we have to remember, and this is when most people start putting their head in the sand, they forget that they need to repair those things, that you might have to repair the seals on your fridge or do other repairs. And if you don't plan for them, then chances are you're going to be handing over that credit card, and then you bring in debt. And then we also put our head in the sand when it comes to replacing things. Now, we had termites in our home, and we had to get a new kitchen. And so we had to get all new appliances and everything. And so we have all these new appliances, which means that they're all going to die at the same time in about 10 to 15 years. And so I already put money away, and it's only a few dollars a paycheck because I have 10 years to save for it. And so over the long period, I'll be able to, when it's time to replace those, I'll have all of the money or majority of the money, and I won't have to worry about that. That won't be a stress in my life. And then your once in a lifetime things. Those are the things that we do, you know, buy a house, go on that big trip, education, a wedding, and things like that. So yeah, so this is just a picture of some of the of all the 6 ways that you can spend your money. And again, to get our head out of the sand, we need to make a plan of all these different things, because if we even forget one of them, then we can have some stress. Okay, I'm just going to check the chat every once in a while just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about effective bank structure. Okay, so like Rhona says, chances of someone coming into your home and stealing your money, or you being, well, it's probably higher if you get scammed. I got scammed a few times on, you know, when I was traveling with my card. That's very rare. But the chances of someone coming in and taking your own money is you. You have to protect your money from you. And in order to do that, you need to have an effective bank structure. Now, I have a bank structure, which I'm going to show you. And when this single lady I was working with, she went to the bank and she showed them it, because I have a visual, and you'll see the visual, and went to the bank and said, hey, this is how I want to set up my bank accounts. And they said, where did you get this? And she said, oh, from my spending planner. And they go, wow, that's how we do our bank accounts, but we don't tell our clients that. And he said, whoever you're talking to, you stick with her, because she knows what she's talking about. And that was shocking to me. I wasn't shocked, really, because again, you have to realize that people and businesses are in to make money. And sometimes they say they care for you, but not always. Their actions aren't showing it. And so when you go and get a bank account, what do you get? You get an everyday account, and they usually give you a savings account, and that's it. They don't educate you on how to use your bank account. So this is the bank structure that I use and that I teach, because we need to make sure that we have a way for every 6 expense type. Because again, we can't put our head in the sand. We need to have how we're going to do those. Every bank account needs a purpose. And so traditionally, and chances are all of you have your wages going into your spending account, the account that you spend your food out of, and then you might transfer it out of there to a bills account. Well, I do it differently in the sense that we have everything go into the bills account, because the bills are number one. That's your life cost. You have to pay your bills. And again, if you're a parent, that is your responsibility to make sure that you pay those bills. And so we get the money coming into your bill account, okay, and that has all your regular planned expenses. They all happen within 12 months. So any bill that you have that you can put a date to generally and an amount to, then that goes into the bill account. So it's not just bills, it's lots of other things. So let me just go into that. And so here's the bill account, and these are some of the things that you would store in your bill account. Your rent would be paid out of that, your utilities, all your insurances, your car service, all the birthdays. If you buy gifts for people, it's birthdays, it's Christmas gifts, it's haircuts, your phone, Netflix. It's really anything that you know that you regularly spend, and you can put a dollar amount on, they come out of the bills account. And the advantage of that, of having it all in the one account, is you can kind of, you're saving for the whole year, your bills for the whole year. And so even though Christmas is at the end of the year, when it's at the beginning of the year and a big bill comes, you can utilize that money because it will be repaid back. So it's the power of leverage, where a lot of people will have different saving accounts for different big bills like registration and maybe their insurances. If they put that money together, there's strength in numbers, there's strength in money being together. So then once you've taken care of all your bills, then of course part of your bills is we need money for food. So that's our FFFI, food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. That's your everyday living costs. And if you notice here, it has a boundary around it. It has, you know, you decide how much you're going to spend in those areas. You transfer it into that account, which has a debit card. And when that money's gone, and it's gone. And so you have that boundary, because again, this is the one account that you can just keep spending and keep spending on. But if you give yourself an amount, then once it's gone, it's gone. Your bills account, if you notice here, you don't carry that card around. Now that one will probably have linked the debit card, but you will not carry that around because there's going to be a decent amount of money in there. But that money already has a job. That money is waiting for your bills to arrive in the mail. So there's no more, you get a bill in mail, oh no, where am I going to get that money? The money is already sitting there, and you can, you can just pay your bills with no stress. And we have our savings account. Okay, so let me just go forward. So this is your FFFI. It's for food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. And with that account, we want to also plug the leaks in your spending. Try and have a food menu. And as well as the bill account, when is the last time that you called and asked for a better deal? Because your providers will not call you and say, hey, Sophie, we have a better deal for you. They're not going to do that. Yet if a new customer, came to your provider and said, hey, what's your best deal? Chances are they'll give me a better deal than what you have, even though you've been there with them for maybe 10, 20 years. So again, we have to, years past, there was loyalty, but now, yeah, companies are not really loyal to you, and there's no reason we need to be loyal to them. We need to ask, and if we ask, then chances are we'll get a better deal. Then we have the Big Bad Wolf account. The Big Bad Wolf account is for those unexpected things. Now, Barefoot Investor, he mentions to have about $2,000 in there. That's what I recommend as well. $2,000, because that's enough money that if things go wrong, you have money to take care of it. For example, if you get in a car accident and it's your fault, you have an excess. Now, most of you would probably have insurance. That insurance only kicks in after you pay your excess. And a lot of time that excess is $750. So you need to have that money available before you can even get access to your insurance. You need your car. That's not a luxury. You actually need your car. And so that's where that Big Bad Wolf comes. We all know the story of the 3 pigs. And, you know, we need to protect ourselves from the Big Bad Wolf. Also, then we have, and those are just some of the things that would happen in the big things we would take out of the Big Bad Wolf. It's not for, oh, I see those cute shoes, oh, that's an emergency. No, it's for things that sustain life, not style. So that's really important to not dip into that. It's not a candy jar. or a cookie jar. We need to keep that. And then we have our long-term savings. Now, this is really thinking in the future, but this is that type where it talks about replacing things. Okay, eventually you're going to have to replace some things that you bought, like a bed or a TV or your computer. And if you just ignore those things and put your head in the sand, and when those things come up to be repaired, chances are, if you do have savings, then you're going to have to raid your savings. But what if you were saving for a trip? That means you can't go on that trip because you didn't prepare for what is not really unexpected. We think things are unexpected, but they're not. We know our TV is not going to last for 50 years, so we need to plan for that. And so this long-term savings is for those things that we need to replace. And again, because when we buy it, we think, okay, we might not need another one for 10 years. Well, 10 years of saving, it's only a few dollars a week that you can do to make sure that you have that peace of mind. And then our savings, that's where what we really want. We really want these things. That's what we work hard for, is so that we can have some luxuries in life. And we deserve that if we save for it. And the last one, which is usually later down the road, is your emergency fund. And the emergency fund is what would have saved everyone in COVID 2020. And that is to have money in your bank that will cover you for at least 3 months of your basic costs. Now, I'm not talking about your style. I'm even talking your very basic life costs. So if you can imagine that you had a child that needed a surgery, they would die if they did not get this life-saving surgery, and it cost $100,000. What things in your finances now, in your budget, would you cut back on to save your child's life? So that's the amount we're talking about here. It's very, very minimum bare bones that you can survive on. And that times 3 months is the amount that you want to have in your emergency fund. Okay, and so that's what a lot of people had to do in 2020 that lost their job. They had to go back to the really bare bones. And some of them didn't have that, and they had to get loans and things like that. But it generally is around 15,000 for most people. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about budgeting. So budgeting, we all know budgeting talks about income and expenses, but it's broken. A traditional budget compares income and expenses and shows you it's possible to pay your bills, but it does not show you how to pay your bills. A spending plan, we focus more on expenses rather than income, because no matter how much income you make, I know a lot of poor people who make a lot of money. I was working with someone, they were both airline pilots, and they only worked for Tiger, and I didn't know someone could make so much money in 1 month. And they were both pilots. I thought, wow, what would you make if you worked for Qantas? But they were poor. Their expenses were so high because they thought, I'm rich, so I can live richly. And as a result of that, they had so much debt, and they were struggling to pay their basic bills. And so with the spending plan, I focus more on your expenses, because really your income doesn't matter. It's your expenses that we need to organize. But a spending plan, the reason it's different from a budget is we add in timing, the timing of your bills, the timing of your income. And so a common budget is really useless information in the sense that you start with your income and you just go until you get to zero. And if you look at these things here, is there anything for the big bad wolf account? Is there anything for saving for a house? Is there anything for replacing of items? No, there's not, because we tend not to think that way. And so, and it lacks timing. So this is how I have cash flow abundance, is I have a spending plan, which is a cash flow projection of the future. I used to have a budget, but 18 years ago, I thought this was not getting me anywhere. And I paid my bills, but I wasn't really doing very well in the saving department. And so I went in search and I found the spending plan. And so you plan your future spending. So it's like having a crystal ball and seeing your future year. And then it also is like a GPS, and it actually tells you step by step what you need to do in order to achieve your goals. So the difference between a budget and a spending plan is timing, and it's vital. It changed our family's finances because I was an avid budgeter. I recorded every cent I spent, but it wasn't doing me any good until we added in that timing factor of everything, then it did. And so I'm just going to show you just a few snapshots of what makes it so different. And so when I did this 18 years ago, I entered in all my expenses, and I've only entered them in once. It's not, a spending plan isn't something you have to do every month or even every year. You do it, and then you just it just keeps going. So you enter in what your expenses, what the amount is. So there's mainly three things you're entering: the amount, how often you're going to pay that bill, and then when's the next date you're going to start paying that bill. So here it's the 23rd of the 12th, and then 3 months later it knows that it's going to be in March. And so once you enter all that in, and again, that's a one-time thing that you enter in, you have a list of all your bills. Now this is in your bill account. You have everything that you do. And then you go to the plan, and it shows you this beautiful timeline of your next 12 months. And so here's the dates, and then here's the dollar amounts. And every time you see a green line is because in your plan, because of those three important informations you put in on each transaction, that's the balance at the end of the day when you any day that you had income coming in or an expense. And so you can see, what happened here? Something tried to come out and there wasn't enough money. It actually went into the negative. And so I want you to put in the chat, why do you think seeing into the future, that you're going to be short at any point? How could that benefit you with your personal finances? Is there any benefit in knowing that you're going to be short in the future and knowing that now? Yep, definitely. You can definitely plan around it. You see that pothole, it's like driving and you see if it's dark and there's a pothole ahead, it's been raining a lot, you won't see that and you'll go through and it will wreck your tire and you'll have to go. But what if there is a flashing light there that says, hey, there's hazard up here, veer to the left, and you will avoid that. And that's exactly what a spending plan does. It shows you your bank balances for the next year, so it knows whether you're going to be short or not. Now, for me, and this is what I teach, is all these red lines, you would think, oh no, you don't have enough money. But I can look here and say, no, in the whole year, you actually have surplus. So it's not a money problem, it's a timing problem. That maybe a bill just tried to come out the day before your wage. And so that's easily adjusted. And so what I do is I help people create a spending plan and to have all green lines. And so how would you feel if you knew that all your bills were covered for the next 12 months? So I want you to answer that in the thing. Sophie, how would you feel if you knew all your things were paying, and that you even knew if you had extra money after your bills? Because with our bills, we say, oh, electricity is going to be about $400. But what if it came in less? Then plan will tell you that you have extra money in that account, because in our bill account, we only keep the right amount of money in, because we don't need to keep any more in. The plan says this is how much you need to keep in here, and that's all you need. And so it's fun to do your finances, which take as little as 10 minutes a week. It will say, hey, you have too much money in your bill account. And you go, yes. And so you can take that out and you can put it somewhere else. Yeah, definitely peace of mind. And that's what I had, when I did my spending plan 18 years ago. I mean, I have no clue when my bills are paid. And when I first talk to people and say, okay, what bills do you have? Can you write them down on this piece of paper? And I have a list that they fill in. And some of them have it in their head. And I just am like, whoa, that's a lot of dead space. I have no idea when my bills are due, because I just know with my spending plan that there's money in there. At any day of the year, I can look and see that there's enough money in that account that all my bills can be paid. So all my bills are automated. Everything is automated. I don't pay anything. It's just, I just tell companies, just take the money from this account, because I know the money will be there because the plan tells me it will. I also have lower down in the plan, you have like your future bank statement. So this is where at any day of the year, I can see what my bank account should be. And as long as it's that amount, I know that, that everything will be okay. So for me, a spending plan gives me totally cash flow abundance. I used to have a very scarcity mindset when I had a budget, because I was guessing. I was always guessing, or am I going to have enough money for this bill coming up when it comes? Where now I don't have to worry about that, because I make a plan, and then I just follow my plan. And so to actually monitor my plan, which is what I do, I just monitor it. It takes me as little as 10 minutes a week, because I put the initial hard work in initially to think about all the ways I spend my money, and then I just tweak it as I go. In most softwares, you see things like this. But the difference between this and a budget is this would have shown you what you spent in the past year. Well, guess what? It's gone. I mean, that's, you know, I've never heard anyone say, oh, I wish I spent more money last year. You never hear that. You always hear, I wish I would have spent less money. Where this in a spending plan is telling you where you're going to spend your money in the next 12 months. So if you see something and go, wow, that's a bit too much in that area, you haven't spent it yet. So you can make a choice and decrease that before, so you don't have to spend that. And so it lets you know what your right balances should be. And so for me, I'll just finish this one. It tells you and allows you to give every dollar a job. And so every dollar that comes into our home gets assigned a job, because if it doesn't, it will go on walkabout. And that's where we waste our money, is if we don't give it a job, it will find a job, and it's usually not what you want it to do. And so we want to give all our money a job. And so how much is going to leak from your spending in the next 6 to 12 months if you don't make a change? For me, lots of money was leaking from my wallet, because I didn't give everything a job, and plus I didn't know exactly how much I needed to save for my expenses every year. And we all have problems in different areas, and it's interesting that you know, when people have money problems, they tend not to think, oh, to go to someone. And it's so important, because we weren't taught in school to be educated. You need to learn financial literacy from wherever about your money. And there's not a lot to learn, but there's enough where if you don't know it, then you can come into some problems. And so what I do is I give accountability to, I educate, and I help create a plan. But the most thing that I like, and I'm just going to stop sharing this, I think, so I can see you, is yeah, again, you don't have to guess whether you can afford anything. And so when you want to afford do something, you just put it in the plan. And so if I want to go on a trip, I put in all the costs. I just create a fictitious account. I put in all the costs about that trip, and it will tell me, oh, you need to put away this much every week, because by that time that you want to go on that trip, you'll have the money. And so then I just look, well, do I have $50 a week? And if so, then I put it in my plan. But I also put, so every paycheck I have, I put money into my FFFI, but then I also put money into the other accounts. I put money into my Big Bad Wolf. And it's not, you know, it's not a huge amount, but to keep the Big Bad Wolf as emergencies, that builds up. And so I put money into there. I put money into my savings because, as you can hear, I'm from the States. So I always have to have money to travel home. I have a few trips now saved because I can't go home this year. And then I also have money I put in my long-term savings for those replacement items. So when we need anything, no stress. Money's there. I can bargain because I have cash, where if you do it on credit or a loan or interest free, you don't get anything. And then I also am building up my emergency one as well. And the benefit too with the spending plan is you do not have to pay installments for bills anymore, because all your money is in one pot. You can save a lot of money by paying your insurances annually, your registration for your cars annually, because they charge you more. Anytime you pay in installments, it's charging you more. And so with the spending plan, you just put in those figures. I want to pay that annually, and it will show you can do that. And so it's really, really powerful. And so, yeah, for me, I was raised by a dad who was a real penny pincher and still is. And, but it was once I found a better way to do my money. I now, yeah, we have abundance because we utilize timing, and yeah, and we save before we spend. There is such a great feeling. My Facebook group, and the link will probably be put in there, is Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting. I'm a happy spender. I love to spend. I'm not a big spender, but when I spend, I love spending because I know I have the money. I used to hate going to the chemist. I have 5 children, and when they were young, you know, they'd all get sick, and I hated going to the chemist and paying money for antibiotics. That really made me angry. Even though I love my children, I wanted them to get better, I never planned for that until I got a spending plan. And then I thought, get your head out of the sand, Sherry. Your kids are going to get sick. You might as well plan for it. And then now, guess where my favorite shop is? I love going to the chemist because money's there. And I even get the nice sugar-free chocolate from there as well, because I planned enough to do that. And so if you have a plan, you don't feel fear. There's no stress. But again, you have to get your head out of the sand and do that. I see that someone likes Baskin Robbins. That is my favorite. Now, I plan for that every week, every Saturday night. We go to Baskin Robbins. My husband's really good. He's diabetic. He just drives me there, and I get the little small tub. That's my treat. I even use the app, so I get free ice cream every once in a while. So yes, Baskin Robbins, but I put that in my plan. I do that guilt-free because that's in my plan. And so you can achieve anything you want. You can have an abundance of what you want. You just have to plan for it first. Put in that plan, and over time is your friend. Anything over time you can save for. And last year, just in closing, last year, my just before COVID hit, my family, we went to America. It was my mom's 80th. 5 children, 2 of them have kids and families. So one had 3 kids, and we made a plan. They have their spending plans, and we saved for the year, and we all went, paid cash, even came home with money because we also had a big bad wolf for our trips, because who has ever gone on a trip and nothing's gone wrong? Probably nobody. And so we came home even with money. And my daughter said to me, Mom, I thought that was going to be a once in a lifetime trip for our family, because there was 13 of us that went. And she goes, now I know it's not. All we needed was a plan. And if you plan, you can have whatever you want. But it starts with a plan. And I'll just leave it there.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you told that story. I was going to ask you actually to tell that story about your family, because I thought that was pretty amazing that you had 13 of you all planned like for the whole year before. And you were telling me as well how, like, instead of them going and buying something, they'd think to themselves, no, I'm not having that because we're planning to go to grandma's birthday party. You know, it was already in their minds. I'm not going to have that. I'm going to have this. Or what was it, this or that?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your goal. And this is what you're going to waste your money on. And it's, I mean, that's half the fun of planning a trip, is that anticipation. You live that trip before it even happens. And so that's what we did for the whole year, is just imagined surprising my mom on her 80th, all 13 of us.
13 of you.
Yeah,
wow.
we were just glad she didn't.
That's fantastic. No, that's a really good story. So I'm sure that some of you have some questions. So I'm just going to open up the, just open up your microphones and ask them if you like. Do you want to start, Sophie? So you're in the middle on the screen there.
That was really interesting, thank you. I was just wondering how one goes about getting that type of planner.
Yes, yeah. So when I did the spending planner 18 years ago, it was a CD. And so the guy who created it was from Sunshine Coast. He was a school teacher, and he did it just for his own. And then he realized that some people, because it was out of the box thinking, you know, budget talks about a lot about the past. This is all about the future. And so he thought, ooh, people need to be it needs to be explained to them. And so that's where he created the Spending Planners Institute, and I'm a certified spending planner. So you have to get it through a certified spending planner. Now the software is only $10 a month, which is, you know, like anything. And then it's just for my services, and I have varied services depending on your need. And I basically train you and get you efficient in it. And then once you're ready to go, then you're ready to go. And then after that, you just pay the $10 for as long as you want access to your spending plan. But yeah, it's not something you will find online. You can't access it, but I can definitely give you a trial of it so that you can test it out. So yeah, just go to those links below and you can just message me, and I can give you more information on that. Because yeah, it is a game changer, a huge game changer.
Perfect, thank you.
Great question.
Del, you got some questions?
Yes. I guess this works for someone who is retired as well.
Yes. In fact, I have this couple I'm doing at the moment. They're both 70. And yeah, it works no matter what your income is, you still spend money. And so this shows you mapped out your money, and it also will show you if you have excess money or if you need to hold back on things, but you'll be able to see your next 12 months and have perfect peace of mind that you can cover your bills.
That'd be really good
so,
for you, Del, because I know that's one of the things that you've been talking with me about.
Yeah, worrying about whether my money's going to last.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah. When you're like
and this goes up to 30 years. Yeah, this goes up to you see your next 12 months, but you can see up to 10 years, up to 30 years for loans as well. So it shows you long term that you're going to be okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
And Shika, have you got any questions?
Not exactly, but I would just like to thank Sherry for this wonderful presentation. I really liked how she has breaked up different expenses in the bank account structure, and I think I would like to also follow the same one. Currently, I have a same account, and from the same account, I'm paying everything. Many times a month, I just go back to my transactions of last 30 days, and that I compare it with the transaction or the calculation that I had done maybe 1 month before. So I am calculating it like this, but it's a very long way, and I really don't have full visibility over my expenses. I really want to save, but then when it comes to when I'm outside the mall, I just spend money. That's why my problem is that money
Yes.
from the wallet, but I really want to save it. Yeah,
Mm.
so I would like to have separate accounts for different type of expenses. Maybe it will give me good view of how much I'm spending. And I just want to know, do you have an app for this software, mobile app?
No, there's no app on the phone, only because it's not, you don't record your expenses in it. You're planning your expenses.
Okay.
If you want to see what you spent, you look into your bank account. And you only look into it when you monitor it, which is every paycheck. That's it. And it takes you as little as 10 minutes. And so, yeah, there is no app because there's really no need for it. You just log in on the internet and and see it there. But yeah, having a purpose for every account, where you're coming. A lot of people have one account and they have their bills, their savings, food money, all in the one account. That you don't know when to stop spending. You have to know when to stop. And that's why credit cards. We don't have a credit card. We don't use credit cards because you don't know when you're done spending. And so you have to have your boundaries around all the different accounts, and it just works beautifully. And the only card you carry is your FFFI. That's it. If you need money from your bills account, you just transfer it to your FFFI because you said you were going to get your hair cut. You said you're going to do $30. You transfer it to your FFFI and you use your $30. If you decide to buy some product, then that has to come out of your food money because you didn't plan for that. And so it's all about planning and having a purpose for each of your accounts to protect your money from you so that you can achieve what you want. Like you want to invest. We have investment properties, and that takes to be able to save and not waste your money. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask actually, because you had the getting your hair cut and all those sort of things that you do on a regular basis coming out of that bills, what was it called? Yeah, the bills account. But you're not allowed to have a card attached to it. So that's why I was wondering how you went about that, because do you do cash or do you transfer it over? You just do a transfer between your accounts?
Yep, that's what I do is I go into the hairdresser right before I pay or before I go. I just transfer the money that I said that I planned to spend for my hair into the FFFI, and then I spend from that. If you can think about it for a gift, say you're buying little Johnny a gift and you budgeted $30. Before you go to the shop, you transfer the $30 into the FFFI. Then you get to the shop and you see something for $45 and you just got to have it. You can't transfer $15 more from the bills account because that money already has a job. That has to come from your FFFI money. So that means
you can't do it when you get home after you've bought it.
Yeah, I mean, I do it right when I do it because it's like so yeah, it's choice and accountability. If you buy Johnny a more expensive present, then that means you're going to have less money for your food that week.
Less food.
So if you want to do that's fine. But if not, then you just need to keep
like
$30.
No Baskin Robbins on Saturday night.
No, exactly.
No, I just like the Baskin Robbins thing. You had it in the slide where, you know, people, if they're sick, they go to the doctor. If they need psychological help, they go to a psychologist. If they've got cravings, they go to Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
I thought
actually
you
a
put
joke.
that in just as a fun thing, just to see if people were actually taking notice.
Yes.
I actually do have a few more questions. Now, because sometimes the speaker was going in and out, so I don't know if it was like that for everybody, but for the Big Bad Wolf account, did you say $2,000 generally? $2,000?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that will cover, the $2,000 will cover if you get in an accident and it's your fault, which is what I always tell my kids, do not tail tag, because most chances of you getting in an accident and being your fault, it's because you hit someone. And so if you're not following that close, if you keep that space, you won't do that. Yeah, keep that distance. You know, just other little things that come up. $2,000 should be, and then if you spend some of that $2,000, then you just build that up and build it back up.
You just top it back up
2,000.
again.
Yeah, and for me, for my investment properties, I have that for my investment properties as well.
Oh,
That big
yeah,
bad wolf.
okay. For if anything
each
goes
property.
wrong or needs fixing or whatever in that.
Because I want to be a good landlord. I want to be able to, as soon as something breaks, I want to be in there and fix it.
Yeah.
You know.
And in
So
the
again,
emergency fund, I think you said like to cover you 3 months out. Is that like 3 months of bills and like surviving?
Yeah. Yes, that's your food, your basic bills, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no fund.
I think you said most people are about 15K.
Yeah, I find with the ones that I work with that it's generally around 4,500 a month, between 3,500 and 4,500 a month is their basic costs. And so, yeah, if you have your own business, then it's 6 months. If you work for someone and then it's employer and it's quite steady, in 3 months, because what that happens, and I had clients when I worked with them, and after a few months they lost their job, and it was a single income family, but they had, in that time, they had built up Big Bad Wolf that they didn't even have to go to Centerlink, but they just lived off their Big Bad Wolf. They knew exactly, because when we put stuff in the software, we've only put in your basics initially so we can get that number. It will tell us that number. And then it was so easy for them to just shed off they knew exactly what to go to when hard times hit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I wrote down as well, I just made this note that, you know, that budgeting can actually create a scarcity mindset as well, because you're talking about in the past, you know, like you're looking back towards what you've spent or, you know, whereas the spending planner is looking towards the future, which is more about where an abundance mindset comes from, because you've got to be in the present moment so that you can move forward.
Yes, and there is no tracking of your money in a spending plan. There's no, you're just looking every week, it will just say, this is what your plan said you would have spent in the last week, and you're just saying, yeah, click, and then you're done. So you're not spending that time tracking money. Yeah. And budgeting is a negative thing for some people, and it is. It's a negative word. It's restrictions. Spending plan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a,
you feel more restricted, so
to
you're
go
more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm a heavy spender as I plan money, and then I happily spend it.
Yeah, exactly. So you put that you were showing us an example of putting the $700 in there for an electricity bill, and that was 3 months worth of electricity. So if that changes, like, do you just go in and change it?
No, when it comes up when I look at my plan every week, it will say, this is what you said was going to happen. Did it happen? If that time it was more or less, I just change it for that one time. It will, the plan will keep continuing unless I say, no, this is what it's going to be. I had 2 people move in my house and they're going to be here for the next year. So it is going to be more.
Yeah.
But you can adjust anything. And 2, if something comes up and it says, hey, you were supposed to get your hair done in the last week, but I was sick and I didn't, then I just push a button and say, no, we'll postpone that. I'm going to do that in another 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So it does that as well.
Yeah, it does. It does everything. And you're always seeing 12 months in advance. So you never have to do a budget again. You never have, once you enter that information in, it's a one-time thing. Like I said, I did it 18 years ago, other than tweak, because life does change.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like electricity bills and things will change, like depending on, and if you do negotiate with your providers and or phone bills or whatever, like even if you manage to negotiate it down, so then can you change it in there that it's going to be less?
Yeah. It's
And
actually
does that just adjust everything for you?
Yeah, anytime you adjust any figure, it readjusts your whole plan. You never have to use a calculator again with your finances. I don't ever use a calculator. It does everything for you. It tells you exactly how much you need to start out with in your bills account to make sure everything's going to do. It does everything for you.
All right. And so it'll adjust then how much money you're putting into your savings account. Like if you've got more, will it come up saying that you've got more and...
Well, it will show you. Yeah, you'll be able to see. Yeah, you'll be able to see.
Wow, it's pretty cool.
I tell families who have lots of kids, and we had 5 kids, and to tell the kids, hey, let's try. This is what we're budgeting for electricity for the next 3 months. We're budgeting for $400. Let's see if we can all turn our lights off and do all this. And if it comes in under 400, the plan's going to tell us it does. And we'll use that money and we'll go to the movies or we'll go to Movie World or whatever it is.
Yeah, cool.
And so it gets everyone involved, the kids, to think, wow, if they can save money, I'd rather spend money on taking the kids to dinner rather than giving it to the electricity company because people were just leaving lights on. And so there's lots of things.
Yeah,
I mean, my kids all have.
They're learning along the way as well.
Yes, yeah. And I'm really big about teaching your kids. Once I teach things, in fact, today I had a 17-year-old. I did her parents last year. And usually I work with people anywhere between 2 months or 6 months. And she called and she said, I want my 17-year-old to learn. And so and she wants to get a car. That's her goal.
Well, that's right. It's like my daughter Bianca, she's got a car now, and it's just like, she needs to budget for how many times she goes down the coast and how much petrol that's going to cost her and how much she earns at the, pub working her little jobs and whatever else, but, and to predict how much it's going to cost her over the year, or when you have to change tires or when you need to, do a service on the car. And
yes, and the software does all that for you. You just put in, hey, I want to plan to have new tires every 3 years, and it will put that into your plan. Yeah, so it takes care of all 6 expense types that we spend our money on. And so we don't put our head in the sand. We have a plan for everything. And what I teach people is to be weird. I am weird when it comes to finances. You don't want to be normal. People who are normal have debt. And it is normal and it's socially acceptable to have consumer debt. And I'm talking consumer debt, which is stuff we buy that, I mean, there's mortgage. Yeah, it's just because you want it, not because you need it, and it loses value. Then there's, of course, debt because you buy a home, which, but that gains value. And so
it's amazing the guy that invented it, like that made it up. Wow.
Yeah, he was a school teacher and he just was tired. He kept receipts and they did him no good. Tracking where you spend your money in the past does no good because you can't get that money back. There's only power and abundance in your future. And that's where your financial wealth
tonight.
That's where it's all for.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks so much. Has anybody else got any other questions or anything at all? No. Go on.
I'm just wondering, I'm one of those people that I have a spreadsheet and I track everything. And I think in my mind, what I'm thinking, yes, I want to look more into the future, and I really like what you're talking about. But my mind is like, oh my God, like I'm a bit of a control freak, like letting go of all that.
Yeah.
Is a challenge in my head. And you mentioned that you used to budget. And so I was just wondering whether you felt that way or how you went about that transition in your mind.
Yes, I had someone who came to me, and she's an actual Excel queen. And she came and she wanted to know, and she thought, oh, she saw the spending plan, thought, I can create this in Excel. And so she went away for a year, and then she finally came back and says, okay, I got close, but didn't get near as close as what that does. And so now she uses it and loves it. And she even has her own business, and she loves it for her business too. And so, and my daughter tried that too in Excel. It was actually originated in Excel, but the software is so much more user friendly. I mean, I look at Excel and it's like, whoa. But yeah, and so you do let go of things in the sense of, well, you don't really, because you can still track where you spent your money in your bank account. I mean, most bank accounts will tell you how much you spent on fast food this month, and those type of things. But the power is in the future. So
better take the mute off before I keep talking. So tell us, Sherri, how can these guys get in contact with you? And yeah, how do they go from here?
Yep. So if you just go onto my my Facebook page, I have a couple of them. Well, there's my Facebook business page, which is Sherri Dumbrell Essential Spending Planner. And so on there, you'll be able to read reviews and just lots of information on there. There's also my Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting, which is my new group. And so that's another way to contact me. And yeah, there's lots of things that I can share with you. And the thing that usually comes up the most is they think, you mean you're going to charge me money to teach me about money? I'm very affordable. In fact, I've been told I'm too cheap, and I know I'm cheap, but I do this because hopefully you felt my passion tonight. I found something that really works, and I just love to share it with other people. And so I'm here, and
helps other people out.
You will gain more money within the first month than anything you would ever pay me, because of the things and the tips that I help you with, and to give you that support to call all your providers. You know, I had one who called their providers, and she saved $5,000 for every year going forward. I am nothing like that price. And so I teach you how to pay least amount to your service basic needs so that you can have more money for those other things, and so you can achieve your goals.
How does it work though, for just a out of the box question, like for women that, or if they're married, like if they have like separate accounts, and they have some of the accounts joint, or does that take all that into account as well?
I mean, it's recommended that you put all your wages into one account. And when I explain that to them, and when I go into more detail, they can see why. Because if you're having separate accounts, then you're not getting that leverage between all your bills.
Yeah.
And so putting it all together, and then, yeah, you can have your own spending accounts, FFFI. So you can have your main FFFI, but then he might have his own spending account and she'll have her own spending account. Yeah, that's fine. But in regards to paying all the bills, it's best to have it in one account, have both your wages go into one. Otherwise, I mean, you can do it if it's just you, but you're not going to get the full benefit unless you're pooling your money together so that you can use that.
But I'm sure that you can have that discussion with you have that discussion with your clients anyway on how they want to set it up and give them the options.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I teach how is an effective way, but of course, you know, some people want to do it a little bit different, and that's fine. And they may say, "Oh, I'll do this," and so yeah.
It's great that you can adapt the program
So
to
yeah,
do that.
I'm not a you know, I'm not a financial planner or anything. I just teach you what my specialty is in a spending plan, and so I just give that, and yeah.
All right. Well,
So.
I think I am going to. What are we up to now? I think we are up to this one. I'm just going to share my screen again. Can you see the right one there, Nikki? I'm all good.
All good. Yep.
I've got Sherry on the beach. Whereabouts was that photo taken?
Rainbow Beach.
Oh,
North,
beautiful.
just north of Noosa.
Where
Yeah, beautiful. Colored.
Just north of Noosa. Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's a bit further up than that. It is north of Noosa, though, isn't
Inland
it?
from Gympie.
Yeah, near Harvey Bay, sort of before Harvey Bay, up that way. Okay, so we've done our questions and answer time. So now we're going to do the lucky draw prize. Now we've only got 3 of you on there. So I am guessing that I've got 2 Abundance Transformation Wheel sessions. So if any of you would like to have one of those with me for free, if you just pop your "yes please Rhona" into the chat, and I will send you a link out to just pop your email address in there, or we should be able to capture who it is anyway from the chat. Have you set up a wheel at all, Nikki, or we just go about, or Sherri, do you want to just give the 3 of them a...
Yeah, I was thinking that thing too, because I was like, oh,
yeah,
like
you're all winners tonight. How's that for abundance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so will you send that out by email? So what are you going to send out, Sherri? Do you want to tell us about that?
I'll just put it right now. I'll get the link and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, and that is for a...
That's a financial checkup, and it's a financial checkup which has a little ebook with it, and that will then lead them to the 30-minute chat.
Okay, to you. And they just book that online?
Yeah.
That's a 30-minute chat online with you? Okay,
Yeah.
so they're best to look through the little booklet
that
first, suss it all out, and then sort out their call.
Yes.
That sounds good.
I'll just get that now. I'm just gonna.
Did you want to ask something, Shika, at all?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
You're all good? All right, it's getting late for you down there in New South Wales. In Victoria, it's nearly 9:30.
Yeah, it's 9:26 here.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, I think we might wrap that up then for the evening. Thank you so much, Sherri, for all that information.
Yes, you're welcome. I'll just put this in the chat.
Yep, that'd be wonderful. And if anybody else needs any of those links at all, just contact me on Facebook or whatever, and I'll forward them out to you. Okay. All right. And thank you, Nikki, for supporting us all and keeping us all going on the chat there, and helping us get in and access everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, thank you. It's so helpful, so good. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, good night.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Good
get on
night.
there and book in for your signature
Yeah.
for our next event on the 20th of April with Christopher Lewin. It's going to be a fun one.
It's a fun one, guys. We have lots of in for you. Bye,
Yeah.
ladies. Bye.
Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hang in there for a minute, Sherry, and I'll.
I'll just put the
link.
that I'll just put that link to that premium in your messenger.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically a 25 question to see what their fitness is, whether they're fit or flabby, and then it will have a kind of an explanation about that, and then
Yep.
it will lead to a 30-minute chat.
All right. That sounds good. I think I might do it too. I reckon my daughter will want to do this too.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was really
Yeah.
fun. I was really impressed with the 17-year-old today, you know, and
Yeah.
I was like, she wants to get a car, and I said, so what kind of car do you want? She goes, just one that runs. And I
Yeah, they
said,
don't know, hey.
no,
I
but
know,
that was
like-
good. Yeah, well, I thought she was going to say, oh, I want this brand new, you know, $20,000 car. And no, she just wants something that's reliable that will get her from here to work and do a
Yeah,
few
but
things.
it's hard to find something reliable. Like I know Bianca was
Oh, it
saying,
is
I'll
right
just get
now.
something for like $2,000, $3,000, and I'm like, because I'm not having you like break down on the side of the road on the
Yeah.
way back from Brisbane by yourself as an 18-year-old girl, and I don't know anything about mechanics. Nah,
Yeah.
we're not doing it. You know, and so now, like, at least when we bought this car that we bought for her, like Chris said, now we're right until she gets married, and then her
Yes,
husband.
exactly. Exactly. Yes.
It's done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it's hard to get a secondhand car now, a good secondhand car for under 15 grand.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see, because I bought one at the beginning of last year before COVID, and I got it for 2,500. It was a grandma car, and you know,
Yeah.
2,500. It was 90,000. It was a Hyundai Getz, and then my son bought it 6 months later. I sold him for the same price. Dumb me, didn't know. He went and turned around right before he got married and sold it for 5,000.
No.
Of COVID, new car.
That's funny.
It was like, anyway, I said, happy, that's your money.
Yeah, good on him.
So yeah,
For
Oh,
another 500 or 1,000, because he could like double the price, and
yeah,
you gave him like
amazing.
such a discount, right?
I know. Yeah. So anyway,
He could have
I
split
mean-
the difference with you.
I know.
But
But
he's
I
getting
thought,
married.
Or bought you a 2-month supply of rubber basket.
yes.
Did you find that interesting as well, Nikki?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ed's
Yeah.
actually behind, and he was like listening, and he was
Oh.
like, "Didn't you that?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, get on a call. You should use that link and do it. That's okay, isn't it, Sherry?
Yeah,
He was
It
please.
works anywhere, doesn't it?
"Didn't you
Oh, it
that?"
doesn't.
Get
Yeah,
onto that.
I was like,
Yes.
"I'm writing stuff here."
I was with someone. They were separated, her and her husband, and she got so excited about her spending plan that she was talking to him, and she said it was like their first time. She was so excited, and he could see that she was so excited, and they actually got back together because that was one of their issues, was money.
Oh yeah.
And because
yeah. Oh, definitely. Like when I was going through that abundance mindset and stuff about, you know, paying your taxes and all that sort of stuff, that's what my ex-husband was like. He was just so annoying, and it was just, Oh, and he wouldn't, the problem
Yes.
was, the real problem was at the end of the day was the catamaran, that he would not sell it, like, and it was costing us so much money, like, and I was like, who's going to pay for the kids to go to university then? Oh, the day that I sell the boat, it's going to kill me. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah, the boats are expensive. Like the catamaran was like so luxurious.
It's $500,000. It was
It's like-
$500,000. It was $500,000.
Yeah.
And then you have
That's
to, then you have to pay for it. Then you have to put fuel in it. Then you have to charter it. Then you
Oh,
have to like, it was chartered, but it wasn't covering the cost of it. I mean, yeah, we loved it, we enjoyed it and whatnot, but it was just like, this is not working, like, at all. And you know, can't we just sell it and like get another one in 3 years' time? Because we'd sold a hotel and we'd bought another one, and it was just all like consolidating. Like, it was, whether it's big amounts of money or small amounts of money, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you're $5,000 down or you're 50 grand down, or you, you know, like, it's just zeros at the end of the day. It's all relative. Isn't it? Is.
Yes. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
And
sometimes
yeah,
it's
it
good.
was just like, oh my God, it was
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah. Because a lot of times people keep things because they invested up so much money into something already. And so they think, oh, but you know, I work with people who, you know, they might have a really nice car, and it's like, but you can't afford this. So
Well,
you're
I had
best
it
off
in,
to sell it.
you know the Infinities, you know, Infinity. I had one of them in France, €60,000 car. It was freaking awesome, like in the mountains, Corvette engine. You know, like, it was Triptonic, it was like the stereo, and it was awesome. It was a beautiful car, but we couldn't afford it, you know. And so I came back to Australia for 6 weeks, put the kids into school for a little while. It was in the summer season, so we weren't busy, blah, blah, blah. We just sold a hotel, but it was just, we didn't need it, you know, like, we already had another 3 cars and we just didn't need it. Anyway, and so we decided before I came back to Australia that we'd sell it. So we took it back to the car sales place. I've come back from Australia and it's back at the house. Because they didn't want to lose the identity of having all this stuff.
All the luxury stuff. Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
That's where the pride comes in.
It was hard.
There
You
was
must
a
do
minute
that as well, Sherry.
on Sherry's list.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all good.
Yeah.
It's working, like all of the luxury, catamaran, the Infinity. We won't deny we love luxury, but by the end of the day, that's still gonna be a liability, right? I mean, who doesn't love luxury? Who doesn't love all the good stuff, all the stuff? But you know,
it was just it was getting absolutely crazy, like, and it was like, because we'd sold the Boomerang Hotel, and we had this other place. It was an apartment, like, it had it was 4-star. It had 120 odd beds in it, but it was apartments. Like, some of them were 3-bedroom apartments. They were luxury apartments. They were absolutely beautiful. And we had the restaurant downstairs and a spa area and blah, blah, blah. But he really lost his identity when we sold the Boomerang, because he was known as Mr. Boomerang. And this other place wasn't a star, you know, with all the theme, like Australian theme stuff and the pub nights and he really lost, like, his identity in that. And yeah, so when I'm trying to get rid of not get rid of it, because I loved it too, but it's just like, sometimes it's just like, oh, hang on a minute, you know, we do have to save up for other things, you know, like, if we want our children to go to boarding schools and we want this, that and the other, like, which one comes first? Their education or the boat or the Infinity? Like, I can drive around in an Audi. You know, it's like, It's a little bit less.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's already a luxury for others. Like an Audi is not even like a less of a thing.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
that's already like premium. So
Yeah.
I know.
that's downgrade. I mean, it is, but it's just a little. Yeah, but
He
it's just,
worked really hard, you know, he worked really hard. He was always at work. He worked really hard too, you know, but
yeah.
just there was just something that just clicked, like it just went all wrong. Like I think actually you had problems with being like, you know, when they lose their identity like that, and at that age, you know, 40 odd, like he imported an Australian ute into Europe,
Yeah.
a red Holden ute, and big V8 thing, and it was only the third ute on the continent in Europe, and we're driving it around in the Alps in the snow, which is the worst car to have in the snow because it just slid out everywhere, but it just slid out, you know, everybody went. I used to love driving that around. That was pretty cool. But I don't know. It's just, yeah. I'm not whinging about it, but he did work really hard. But there was a time when he just lost it. Like he just had no idea of what was going on with the money and just wasn't looking forward to the future. Like I said, you know, like he'd whinge about paying taxes, and I'm like, well, you want to earn this much money, you have to pay tax.
Yeah, the more earnings that you have, the more taxes you'll have to pay. I mean, we can't complain too. I mean, if you're paying high tax, that means to say money is coming in. But if you're just paying that little of a tax legally, then technically you're just paying. So I mean, you're just earning so little that you're just
Oh, and Chris said to me the other day, he said a beautiful thing the other day. I have to remember it. How did he say it? About people that are in like a job for somebody else, or they're trying to actually save money for the boss instead of thinking about how to make more money for the boss. You know, like one of the girls that I work with, so she sent me a message, and I don't know if you saw, Nikki, but I changed tomorrow. I'm working from 8:30 to 5. Like normally I work from 9 to 4. And anyway, and April does the 8:30 to 5 on a Wednesday. And she sends me a message and said, oh, because Paul's not going to be here, did you want to do 10 to 2, or do you want the hours and do the full day, like 8:30 to 5? And I'm like, I want to do 9 to 4. It's not my fault if my boss decides to take the day off. He only works half a day on Wednesday anyway. Like, I'm like, hang on a minute. Like, so I had to have a think about it. I sent her a message and I said, have you asked Paul about this? And she sends back, no. Oh, a little while after, she sends back, no. I just ran it by him. So she had to ring him up because he wasn't there on Monday. She had to ring him up. And yes, he wants it done like this. So I just let it go. At 3:30 in the afternoon, I went, I'll take the full day, thanks. Because I thought, stuff you, like that, like why didn't she just leave it as it always is?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean, Sherry? Like, that's a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
We have workmates like that. Like I used to have, like, in the office that we have a budget, but they're buying cheap toilet papers, they're buying the crackers that nobody wants to eat, the cheap coffee, because they want to save. But you have to think about it, that the money that you're saving is not going to be, put into our accounts by the end of the month on our paycheck. It's just going to go back to what? The boss, and it's going to go to waste for papers or printers, because we were supposed to be benefiting like good alcohol, good coffee, but then that cheap, we were like, no, we're just going to get the cheap papers. We're going to You're like saving what, $50, and then that's going to go back to what, printers or cash?
And I'm like, you know, like if she hadn't have run it by Paul, he wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
So why is she so worried about a 2 hours difference of shift or whatever it might have been in the total of what we each do? So I do 6.5 and she does 8. So whatever that is, 8 and 8. Anyway, and now she's doing 4 instead of 8, and I'm doing 8 instead of 6.5. So whatever like it's 4 hours difference or something, like, and it's like, really? So she's trying to save money for him instead of thinking about maybe when we're at work, if we don't have much going on, we can do another training on like Maui Jim sunglasses, or let's go through and make sure that our coefficients are correct, or do a stock take, or because they've always had that mindset, Sherry, like of working for somebody else. Like
Yes, yeah. Yeah, rather than
doesn't know
thinking like
like the boss doesn't really know how or why this is going around. Like they don't even have an idea. Like, I didn't tell you to buy cheap ones. We have like the exact budget. And like he was shocked because that went on for over a year, and then I didn't know that you were not buying good quality coffee because we were always giving this, and it's like, no, because she wanted to save, and then the money's not even
saving on petty cash.
Yeah, and she wanted to cut off like our budget for our like happy hour, because we're given like happy hours so that we can eat at least once a month. We go to a pub, and then she was like, it's expensive. Like, so where do you want to spend that money that's been allocated? And the boss didn't have any idea at all that that lady was like saving on petty cash. Like, and then the morale of the morale of the people are like really low. You know what I mean? Like morale is really low, especially those guys in the finance team. They were like, we're so stressed and we're not getting the free beers or
and
the
we're
free
not getting good coffee.
and we're not getting good coffee. I mean, they're so stressed in their department. Sometimes they would like argue because you know how finance is. They're like messy, like
stressed out.
So it's like, so I get that. That you're just saving for for a little money. It's not even benefiting. It's not even like giving benefit to everybody. I really get that, but it's really good, Sherry. I mean, my husband really told me like you should listen to that. It's very good. I know.
Well,
I mean,
send him to Sherry because you're working for me. Send him to Sherry. He can do all that.
I'm more of the the spender in the relationship. He's like the very like save, and like I'm like I want to spend.
yeah. Well, my daughter was like that until she finally admitted, "Oh, Mom, can you show me the spending plan?" And then she's converted. She could see, she plugged in, and it's like, whoa. And
how much money she's wasting. I know I must be wasting so much money. I don't even want to look at it. I just keep going because I know it's going to keep coming in. I just
yeah.
But yeah, it's like, but I would like to save some up. It'd be really good.
I've already been starting, especially when COVID hit. It was like it's really like a turning point for me, especially that the realization that money is not always gonna be there, especially where the country that I live in. Like when I lost my job for my boss in Australia, my boss is also from Australia. I think the last time that I worked with, and they were down because the nature of business were like bringing in foreign students, and if we can't bring foreign students to Australia and New Zealand, then there's no money. And then the boss was really like, I'm just doing whatever it is that I can, save. So everybody we had to be on forced leave, half-day shifts. Until now, they're working half. But the boss doesn't want to fire anyone, so just to keep, things going, and we'll just have half days for everyone, and it's like over a year. So it's like,
it's intense when you're working in a situation like that.
Yeah, and then rent in the apartment for some of my workmates doesn't even go half. It's like I'm just working 4 hours a day right now, but my expenses are the same. I have 2 kids. I'm myself, I'm a single mom. I have an apartment. My daughter is in school. My kids are gonna be in preschool next year, and then we're just working 4 hours. So she had like to find another way to have another income because she can't rely on the main job right now because our previous boss was like, business is not really doing good. We were not able to bring in any more money. We're just working on what we really have right now in the company, and it's really like sad.
So what they were doing, Sherry, is bringing in students from overseas, like doing all their paperwork and stuff to get them into the universities.
Right.
And
oh, okay.
money because we get 20 and 30% of the tuition, and that's a lot, right? Like 20% or 30% of the tuition of the foreign students. However, right now there's zero students coming
Yeah,
in, so
none yet.
there's no market at all right now. I just recently
Yeah.
spoke to an office mate. It's like, we're still working 4 hours. That's why I'm selling stuff online. It's like I'm selling online. The other person, like, I need to get a second job, a bookkeeping job, because the finance, staff also, like, I can't do 4 hours. I'm like the breadwinner. My siblings depend on me. I'm like, oh, I wish I could,
Yeah.
have anything to offer for you, but hey, at least we have something to work on right now. A lot of people are dealing with zero, but it's a good thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah, but you have me now. We can get on here and we laugh.
yeah. I'm so happy to have Rhona. She's very good. She's very, it, you know, it's never complete whenever I don't talk to her. Like, I don't know, is that even weird for
I think it's a bit weird. We like miss each other if we don't actually get on a Zoom every day. It's like, I miss
I already
you.
have a VA now, Sherry. You have a VA now?
Sherry's, you're getting one, aren't you?
You're already getting a VA?
Yeah, I'm going
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
short the next 6 months. Yeah, within the next 6 months. So
Mhm.
anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have some
Yeah, I gotta go
dinner.
too. I haven't even had any
Look in
dinner
my
yet.
Thank you. I'll just talk to Rhona whatever we need to ask from you. But thank you for your time. Such a good.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry. That was awesome. Did you enjoy doing that? Is that the first one you've done, collaborating?
Lovely, yeah.
Is that the first collaborating one you've done?
Yeah, that's other than an interview, that's the first. And yeah, it's weird because I couldn't see people, that's kind of odd
Yeah.
to give a presentation, not be able to see.
Yeah.
But
The other thing you need to learn how to
yeah.
do is change it to presenter's view.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's what I needed. Yeah. So that I could actually see people.
Screen.
Yeah. Hey, and if you got a chance, did you see my video that I popped onto my personal page this afternoon about tonight?
Yes, I did, and I made
Yeah,
a
'cause
comment about your shirt.
I use Big View.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
get comments. I use
Oh,
Big View.
She commented earlier about
oh,
your.
I used yes, and I used it. I posted yesterday. I think I used it yesterday. I did Big View.
Oh, did
I
you?
did one. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. So
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
Although my the words were going too slow. I made the speed too slow today. It was still a little bit. I should have gone a little bit faster. I think I put it at 400 words a minute or something. But
Yeah.
I needed it to be. I must sit at about 500.
Tell that you were reading. That was really good.
Hey,
So thank you for sharing that with me.
the what?
I said you couldn't tell that you were reading.
No.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. Oh my god.
That's what I told her because
I
the videos
I
were
audited
like.
it as I was doing a live. I audited it as I was doing a live, and it just didn't even make sense. Like, and I had that many arms in it. ARM. Anyway, all right, night. Thanks,
Bye.
Sherry.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll get people over in that. Hey, oh, she's gone. Oh, anyway, that was good.
Yes. Because people were not able to come in, maybe, but I tried over and over. I did send them a message, both in Eventbrite and in Meetup.
But
And
normally they'd send us a message, would they, if they couldn't get in?
yeah, because I tried to in different devices and I can get in. Like, I can get in. So I was like, what's wrong with Zoom? Because I did really try.
So,
like,
what's this? Dina Francois commented on in how to manage your cash flow in Meetup.
Let me go to Meetup again.
Oh, don't worry about it. Do it. Don't worry about it now. Do it tomorrow. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have some soup.
I know it's late.
I'm gonna chill out because after I do this, it just takes me forever to like come down. to calm down, and then I've got to get to work for bloody 8:30 tomorrow because I went, well, I'm taking the whole day then.
Yeah,
Not that I need the money, but I'm just like, what did you do that for, you idiot?
I know,
Oh.
like the motives, and I know, I get that. I really get that. I also check your calendar. I was like, oh, she's coming in a bit early. Like, because I was like, she maybe. I always check even though you're scheduled to be at work, because maybe you wanna squeeze in a few 15
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah,
whatever.
because yeah, exactly. Because if I start at 9 o'clock, it gives me. Because I
And
thought at first, oh, you know what, I'll do 10 to 2, and then that'll give me a chance to catch up on some stuff in the morning, and then maybe I can start in the afternoon on my taxes and stuff. And I thought, you know what, no, because in the afternoon I'm going to go and do the Maui gym training, because you have to do the training to get your free pair of Maui gyms every year. And it's like, or I can take my computer in there and I can do what I want anyway. He's not going to be there.
take
So
a computer in there, yeah, and you
like,
can. And then I check also in the afternoon. You're like, why is she like ending so late than normal? Because I was like, I saw you're supposed to like be out already by 4, and I was like, why is she ending? Maybe I was thinking maybe because of the holidays coming, like Easter.
I don't know what's going on in that place, but anyway.
More time. That's why I was like, oh, maybe she needed to do more time.
Yeah, no, that's why I want to get my taxes and stuff done too, Nikki, so that I can take it all to the bank, so that I can sort out that refinancing thing, so that I know where I'm at, so that I can leave when I want to.
Okay. Yeah.
So that once a week I can work with you in Chris's business. That's my, over the next 6 months, that's what I'm thinking would be really good, like.
Okay. So get that one sorted out, and then we'll see how it goes. At least you're on the track. You're anytime that you wanted to get off, then you can get off. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. You're almost paid off.
Exactly. Like I don't want to be stressed about going to work. Like I don't go there for the money.
I know.
If I wanted to earn bloody $25 an hour or $26 an hour or whatever it is, I could go and work at Woolies and not have all the problems. I work there because I like that job, because that's my career, because I like doing it, and I liked working with the people I work with. But if it's going to be like that, I'm like, how about no? And I really think that it's because I've been working on, like, with the abundance thing, and I think that I've outgrown them.
You've actually realize and see things differently. You've pretty much outgrown them. Like, you just don't stop there or just stuck in that mindset and just be there, because you're thinking differently than they are. That's really it. So it really happens. Sometimes we don't really get along with, or maybe have same ideas with our workmates, and things get complicated, but that's okay. At least
I just don't have any room to grow in there, or and they're just so job mindset, job mindset. And because I run my own businesses and stuff before, I can see all what's going on. I can see behind stuff, like, my poor Paul, like, he's not making enough money, and like, I want to replace the front mat, and they're like, oh, well, you'll have to ask Paul that, because I don't think that he's. And I'm like, you freaking serious? He's a fucking optometrist, like, I know how much money he's earning. It's like, and how much investment properties he's got, and like, I don't know, they just whatever. Whereas if I go and ask you, we go, yeah, sure, I'll get a new one, Rhona, that'd be great.
Yeah. Seriously, that's
sometimes I go and buy stuff. And I don't even tell him until I bought it, like stuff for the shop, like a stool. I had to get a stool. I didn't have to get one, but I saw it and I went, that'd be perfect for when we're taking measurements up for grandma and grandpa, because it's a bit the right height, like, so they can just lean against it so they get it the right height and all that sort of stuff. I just bought it and told him, and he just paid me. Like, I just got him an invoice, made out to Mulaney Optical, and I buy stuff when I do all the window decoration and whatever else, and he never says anything to me. It's just them that are really worried about it. It's just weird.
The one that like fuzzing about it. Those stuff are like Paul's just gonna be okay with it. I mean, those are gonna be like helpful. It's an investment. I mean, it's gonna make things better and
Making money for his business. Exactly.
I mean, it's gonna make everybody's life improve. Not only you, but the customers and everyone. So I don't think it's gonna make big fuss of that, but maybe your office mate's just really the one making fuzz. You know what I mean? Like what's
I
the
don't know
deal?
what it's about. It's weird.
Anyway,
So tomorrow, yeah, because I'm not going to be around really.
Chris will call me, or perhaps
I'd say so. He bloody better.
anyway, I've had stuff. I've been waiting for him to call so that we can discuss about stuff because I know he's preparing. He always
Oh
tells
yeah,
me.
no, he's preparing, but he had to get a new hard drive for his computer
Oh.
upstairs, and he got it delivered, and then it didn't work. And today he had to go down the coast to a place to get them to initialize it or something because he couldn't initialize it. I don't know. I don't get it with computers. I use Mac, so don't worry. Did you get a new one?
I'm waiting for a stock from Singapore to arrive because I'm on the wait list. Yeah, but it's a bit pricey, but I'm just gonna, I have to get this because it's gonna make my life better.
Yeah, what is it? An Air
It's a MacBook Air M1. Yeah, so it's like $1,000 perhaps. So
US.
Yeah, 1,000 US.
Yeah.
It's like I'm on the wait list. I really talked to Ed and like I really need to get this. She's like, you really need to get that because the one that you're using right now couldn't even last without a charger of more than 2 hours. So it's like you can't work outside.
Yeah, no, it's had enough. It's had it.
I think it's like, I need to get a new one. At least it's gonna last me like a whole 8 hours without being plugged in because we really don't know. Like I just really don't know as to when, things get worse, whatever. Like, remember what happened with our 505? I wasn't there because the internet got crazy. And guess what? I talked to them. They're not processing the rebate right away. They said it's subject to approval. What do you mean subject to approval? I didn't have internet for more than 20 days. Ma'am, we're processing the request, but it's going to take 1 to 2 months before it's going to be reflecting. And it's always,
yeah.
Are you serious? I don't have anything. And
Got to chase it up.
And then they expect me to pay full in 5 days. Pay full bill in 5 days. And it's like $30. 30, yeah, around not 30, maybe 40 in Australia. Like, are you serious? You're not gonna even like deduct something or what? It's subject to approval. We'll get back at you.
Oh yeah, and then they'll give you a credit or whatever, maybe. Anyway.
All right.
So there's the follow-up stuff after the event.
I have it listed.
You do?
So, yeah, I have it listed. So we're supposed to have after event email on Eventbrite on Meetup. Post about the event. Congratulations post on WRA. Is there anything that we need?
I know that I did do on Meetup. I did like I sent it out to the people that didn't come, that had RSVP'd that didn't come to the event.
Yeah.
Hey, darling.
Kirsten,
yeah. Just saying, oh, you missed out on a great night, blah 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 blah. Rhona talked about this, Sherry talked about that. We had some great giveaways and here's our next event.
Yeah, okay.
Do you reckon you can make that up?
All right, I'll let you take a look at it before I send it over.
I'm really disappointed there wasn't many people turned up.
I am too. I mean, we've got a lot of response in Eventbrite. We've got 23. And there were like people who did, sign up just last minute, like today or starting March 20th.
Yeah, it's weird.
it's so weird for, and you know what? I checked on those on Meetup, you know, when you send stuff and there's a report or status that if they've opened, and there's no one that's been opening our email. There's like literally just one. So it's like
Oh,
we're not reading our
no.
emails. It's like because I did contact them. It's just very short. We're live. That hurry join, and then I sent them the link just so they can join right away. And when I went there, to the messages, with the message board, you'll see everything like everything
Yeah,
that
I didn't know that you could see how many had opened it.
it's not open. Like everybody has received it. However, there's just zero open, and it's like because I really wanted to get a contact with them if they're trying to reach out. I also looked into the messages. Nobody PM'd like, hey, I can't get in. Is there a problem? Nobody even tried to. So here's the replies. So we've sent all the stuff. Unfortunately, there's zero replies, and there's just like one view. So earlier we sent probably everybody who responded, and then there's only one who viewed, and we're not sure who did the view. But let me check if we can. Uh, oh no. So all of the announcements mostly like zero or one view. I'm so disappointed they're not able to attend because if there were people like really wanting to get in, they should be able to contact and reach us. They could always message us. I'm like, where are you guys? You
Yeah,
just
because we had, what was there, 10 people on Meetup and 20
we
in
had
Eventbrite. That's 30 people. We should have had at least 12 people on there tonight.
we had 14 on Meetup because we had like late
Oh, really?
earlier.
On
I was
Meetup?
yeah, and I
Well,
was
where did
like,
they come from?
there were like I don't know. I don't know where they're coming from. Maybe because of all the advertisement that we're doing with some other groups. Maybe on Facebook because we tend to have a lot of that.
Yeah,
So.
we did them there, but I mean, not within Meetup. Like, they're not linked to Meetup. It's linked to Eventbrite. But
Oh
do you think
yeah.
that they see the same banner?
Oh yeah, we had 14 attendees on Meetup. So like, where are you coming from? Because today or earlier today, I was so happy because there were like 14. Unfortunately, none of them showed up, and then the others actually changed last minute. Sharon was supposed to be attending, and then she changed to not going. The last, I think, 2 hours before our event he changed because you can see right who's going, who's not going, and then she was on the list for going, and then she changed to not going the last
At
2 hours.
least she said,
Yeah, so it's
some
like
people just don't even care. They just don't turn up. It's weird.
yeah, and then we have like 23 who registered on Eventbrite, and there were like I listed the supposedly winners. I listed in here Melissa and what's that her name? That bring a friend. They're supposed to be our winners, but they didn't show up too. Melissa and Anthony, I think. I know I had them on my list. I just have to look
Oh,
it
even
up.
my mum forgot. Like, how could she forget? She had an Eventbrite ticket. Like, they would have got emails, but I know her phone's not working, so that's probably.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why she forgot. It's okay. I mean, they probably forgot about our event. We actually have 24. So someone did register and then
It's really hard work then. Like,
super.
I had heaps more turn up for Jodie's one
Yeah.
in January, and that was the 26th of January. That was Australia Day. And everybody's going, oh, I don't do an Australia Day. People won't want to do it. And I'm like, I know I have to because I had to change it because of my operation.
Yeah.
How many did we have on Ali's one? 10?
10. 10, yeah, 10.
Like, and who am I going to give an abundance wheel thing to? Like Dell's already doing it. She's already got a freebie.
Yeah.
Sophie, I don't mind. Well, she's my sister-in-law, but I don't know. I just can't. Like, that's why I had to change it because I didn't want to give mum and my auntie and Abundance Will. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not working with family.
Yeah. We had familiar names actually. I see that this other lady could be like a friend of yours in Facebook. But but
Cheryl
she's
York. Yeah, she was supposed to turn up.
yeah, and then there's like a Helen Sullivan.
There's
And
Trish as well. Trish did send me a message actually to say that she wasn't sure she was going to be able to get on or not. But anyway, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm going to bed.
yeah. All right, let's talk tomorrow if you have time, okay? Let's just
Yeah.
or just
If
leave
I have
stuff.
time.
I know that you'll be busy, so I'll let you look in some of the stuff that I'll be posting. I'll let you approve it, okay?
All right.
Shift, so you better prepare.
Okay.
Bye,
Night
bye.
night. Thanks. Bye.